Hi everybody, welcome back on another technical demo around the Quarkus application. For years, Kubernetes has turned into the foundation layer of cloud-native application architecture to run microservices and serverless application. But it also changes significantly for developers to control the inner and outer loop development workflow on Kubernetes and scale and speed. What kinds of capabilities are required in the application framework to build code and automating development and deployment quickly in line with the development loop, and what benefit will developers gain from it? In this demo, I will walk you through how Quarkus allows you to enhance the development loop by live coding on the remote OpenShift cluster, just like you do in your local environment. Let's jump into the demo. Okay, we're going to use a Maven plugin to generate Quarkus example application. We need to specify project group ID and artifact ID and a project version 1.0, whatever you need, and the class name. This class will be generated automatically to export the RESTful API, just like Hello World, for example. And then we're going to use OpenShift extension to deploy this Quarkus application to OpenShift container platform. Okay, let's try to hit this command line, and then we just complete the generate this project. As you can see, the new project directory, and we needed to use Java editor like a VS Code to open this Quarkus project. When you go to PalmXML, you can find out already to pull down your dependency. For example, Quarkus OpenShift, when we edited that extension in Maven CLI. And then when you go to RESTful API application here, the endpoint hello and the return output hello, that's easy, just like the output text line. And I try to change the directory to Quarkus project directory, and then run Quarkus runtime as a dev mode. This is one of the great feature of the Quarkus for developer to have unified configuration, but also have live coding functionality. Let's take a look at that, how live coding means for developer. So your application is running locally, and try to open new web browser and go to X endpoint 8080-hello, the endpoint, and I'm going to zoom in my browser, and hello, that's easy. So this is totally working for my environment, and I try to change my code as a written code like simply from local, and I just save a file, and then go back to the web browser and refresh. And now we got the new code written here, which means the developer doesn't need to rebuild packaging, etc. But in the meantime, behind the scene, you can find the Quarkus automatically detect the change in code. For example, greater resource Java class, and then hard refresh that application. It took just 1 second to make that happen automatically and magically. Okay, this is a pretty cool feature for developer on your local environment. So let's try to deploy this application to OpenShift container platform, actually the remote OpenShift cluster. In order to that, we need to package the application as a mutable jar format, because we still needed to live coding functionality for the remote OpenShift cluster. And then you need to define the library load password. This is the only for between client and server. You can define any password and random. And this is your OpenShift extension configuration. It allows you to deploy this application to OpenShift container platform based on container image build, and they're using client trust certification and the target environment OpenShift container platform. And also you can expose automatically route URL to access the endpoint by external client. And also you need to define one environment variable for your live coding mode. Okay, this is my OpenShift cluster and the sample application project. There's no resource here, and then I needed to make sure I already logged in this project using OC command line, like OC project. Okay, that's cool. I mean Quarkus remote project. So I'm going to use a Maven plugin and packaging and skip unit test, because I already changed the return code, and I deploy true. Kubernetes deploy true means I'm going to deploy this application to OpenShift cluster. It takes a few minutes to complete packaging mutable jar application and the packaging as a container image based on OpenJDK 11, and then push that image into container registry that exists inside the OpenShift container platform. Once the build succeeds, when you go to target directory, you can find the mutable jar application under Quarkus-app directory. When you go to Quarkus-app directory, you can find the mutable application Quarkus-run.jar file. Okay, go back to OpenShift developer console and then try to access the view logs, and then you can find that profile dev activated and live coding activated, just like you saw in your local environment. So now your Quarkus application is all set to live loading, live coding, just like you did in the local environment, but still this is your OpenShift cluster. Okay, try to access the endpoint. The hello REST is from local. So let's try to change this application with the Quarkus remote dev mode. But in order to that, we need to add one more configuration here, the library load URL. So Quarkus library load URL is the URL of OpenShift container platform, and then we need to delete or comment OpenShift configuration because we don't need to trigger the OpenShift S2I build process whenever we change the code. Okay, let's try to run Quarkus remote dev mode. So this allows you to connect from your local to the remote OpenShift container environment. This is also, you can use the remote container platform like Kubernetes or your container engine, etc. As you can see, you just connected, you succeeded to connect to the remote server. Okay, go back to our source code and change the code like OpenShift from, and then go back to our OpenShift route URL and reload this application, and you will find out the new written code, the OpenShift. Behind the scene, you can find that what happened in your Quarkus application runtime, and the Quarkus automatically detected the change in the code and sending that code to remote server with the packaging as well. Okay, try it one more time just for fun, and with the Quarkus remote dev. This is a really awesome feature. Okay, and then reload this application, and then you can find that changes automatically just like you did in your local environment. Okay, you learned today how Quarkus is capable of enhancing the development loop by activating live coding capability from your local machine to the remote container environment such as OpenShift seamlessly. And please do not use this feature in your production environment since it might cause unexpected functional changes immediately when you're running the remote development mode. Thanks for watching. Have a good rest of the day.